Hello, everybody. Welcome. Today we're talking about how to feel loved. How to feel loved, but truly deeply loved and fulfilled, not just distracted. And let me tell you, a couple years ago, I was in a stage of my life where I had everything. Even before my coaching business, I already had real estate businesses and a few other businesses. So I had everything built from scratch. And I was traveling a lot. I was traveling. I had worked on my health, on my body. I had really everything. And I thought I'm living my dream life. I'm supposed to now be happy. And um, on paper, I was living my dream life. But I did not feel loved. I did not feel happy inside. And I really, really thought, why is that happening? Am I depressed, maybe? Am I maybe, and again, for some people it can be. So if you feel like you could be depressed, definitely um go check it out with a doctor, with a therapist. But in my case, it was temporarily. It was temporarily because when I was alone in my apartment, I felt lonely. I felt like I felt like it's empty. It's just empty. It's like not fulfilling. But when I was even with family or even with friends and their family out, I felt this warmth in my heart. I felt love. So I knew I'm kind of not depressed because otherwise, why would I feel so good when I'm around my family and when I'm around the family of my friends? So I realized, what if the dream life that I was having, the independence, the money, the travel, the nice body, the freedom to just be by myself and not commit to anyone, what if this wasn't enough? Although it's kind of like these days, people, society, media tells us that this is the best way of living. But I was there and I didn't fully feel loved. I didn't feel fulfilled. Quick disclaimer, obviously, it's better to be alone than being in a toxic relationship. Yeah. It's obviously also better to be alone than being in a relationship where there's no attraction, no polarity. Although these are the things you can work on, and these are the things I work on with my one-on-one clients, so you can have always that attraction forever after honeymoon. And also, people also think it's better to be alone than being with a person where two people fight or trigger each other. But again, fights and triggers can be overcome. I work with a lot of couples to overcome misunderstandings with communication, with knowing, okay, this is a trigger. Let me not act out of my anger, calm down and communicate then. I know it's easier said than done, but I'm not saying that being in a relationship is easy. You've got to do some work. Okay, so when you're in a relationship, it's gonna be a little bit work, learning how to communicate, how to receive feedback from your partner, how to manage your emotions so that the relationship can actually thrive and be loving. But so many people just say, okay, it's not working out, let me just be alone because it's just too hard. It's just too hard. I don't want to learn how to communicate. I don't want to learn about the triggers. I don't want to learn how to receive feedback. So a lot of people say, you know what, that is just too difficult. I am just simply going to be alone. And I get that. I was there too. I was successful. I've always been in school very smart. I was successful and I thought, okay, let me just be alone. It's the best life on paper. And yet it was just empty. It was unfulfilling. And this is honestly the first time where I really realized that being in a committed relationship, being in a divine union, being in marriage has a huge value in us. And as you guys know me, I am a rebel. I always question rules, society rules, even evolutionary rules, religious rules. So I was like, let me do what I want to do. And this actually sounds really nice. Just be alone. And again, it is nicer than being in a toxic relationship or being in a relationship where both people don't know how to communicate and hurt each other on the way. However, like deep down, I knew there's more. And you guys know I talk a lot on my channel about commitment, marriage, and this video is for you if you are still in the state of saying, you know what, I don't want marriage. And I get that. I was there too. Years ago, I was there too. I didn't want to get married. I actually, fun fact, hired my first dating coach. And the first sentence out of my mouth was like, I don't want to get married. I don't want to be in a relationship. Like, I just want to be happy. So I get that. So if you are watching my channel and you're like, oh, why are you always talking about commitment, about marriage, about all of these things? Like, I don't want commitment. I don't want marriage. I'm just watching your channel because, I want to be happy and I have relationship issues. Listen, if you didn't want to have a relationship, you would just be alone. You wouldn't have relationship issues. You would just lock yourself in a room every evening, watch Netflix and chill, you know? But the reason you have relationship issues, or maybe you actually do that already, you are alone every evening and feel really lonely and empty, is because it's our human nature to want to be in a committed, loving relationship. Your intuition tells you that this is something that you want. It's possible for you, that it is fulfilling, it is beautiful, it is something that grows. And honestly, I'm not surprised, right? We are human beings and certain things are just part of our evolution. Just like we can't take away sleep, right? Like maybe we can sleep less and be tired the next day, but like completely taking away sleep is not possible for us because we are human being and this is human nature to, you know, sleep basically. Eat, drink water, those things, just like taking care of yourself. And for millions of years, we had families, a tribe, children. So it is a human need, you could nearly say, right? So what I'm just trying to tell you in this video is that I'm not trying to tell you that you should get married or you should be in a committed relationship. But I'm first of all trying to tell you that whenever I talk about commitment, this is where I'm coming from. I don't believe that commitment is right when you are stuck in a toxic relationship or when two people don't know how to deal with their emotions or communicate, then they have to do a little bit of work, yes. But I do believe that commitment and a marriage or even a long-term relationship gets to be beautiful, gets to be fulfilling. And it is our evolutionary human need to have that. Although these days it's told that we don't need this anymore. We don't need a relationship. We can be just alone. Yes, we will not necessarily die when we are alone. Yeah. Just like when we don't drink water. But when it comes to our psychology, our brain is going to feel empty, is going to feel depressed. Because when we think about million of years ago, we've been living in tribes, and when we were alone, our brain was thinking, okay, it's dangerous. I'm alone. Like something is wrong, you know what I mean? And obviously, you could just hang out with friends or maybe keep having serial short-term relationships. But I know that deep down, you feel like, what if I can have a relationship that's deep, where we can trust each other so much? We are there for each other in when life gets tough. Because the truth is, a relationship, a marriage is also there for you when you're sick, when your business goes down, when, or for women, when you are pregnant, when you have children, you need more support in that area, in that phase, right? So a commitment is also there for you to support each other in down moments, for you to have full trust, knowing each other, understanding each other, supporting each other. And if you didn't have the right role model, I am so sorry for you. I also didn't have the right role model. That's why I was like desiring just to be alone, just to have my own apartment, my own money, my own life, my own travel, and be happy with that. But again, I had all of that. On paper, I was happy, but I still felt like I desire more. I desire a beautiful commitment where I connect to someone, I trust someone, and I can invest into someone knowing that we are growing our life together. And then some of you might say, yeah, but why can't I just have serial, maybe like 2, 3 months relationships? First of all, because when you go through a breakup, especially as a woman, you are going to, you get attached when there's intimacy involved, and you're going to grieve. You're going to be really, really sad. And that just adds up to like this sadness creates hormones which can make you sick, first of all. And secondly, it hardens your energy. And the harder your energy is, the less blessings you attract, the harder just life is. Like even when you just have a virus, like everything seems hard. So when you go through an emotional heavy thing like that, everything in life will seem difficult. And the second reason is, especially for men, why you should not go into like those 2, 3 months relationships is because you are not going to attract your dream girl in those 2, 3 months relationships, because your dream girl is not going to be available for that. A woman that actually is loyal, a woman that wants to invest in you, wants to support you emotionally, spiritually, even physically, she might make you a tea. She will not be available for that. A woman that has morality, boundaries, values that can add to your life is just simply not going to be available for that, okay? That's why those 2, 3 months relationships are not good for you either. And as a man, you know, I know men love to be providers. You love to care, to really invest. And if you do this with random women here and there, all your efforts are gone. But if you choose one woman that is your woman, that you choose to commit to, and the values are aligned, the vision is aligned, you both know how to communicate, you both know how to regulate the emotions in heated moments and go into discussion and solving problems if something comes up. When you invest in this relationship, your time, your energy, and money, as a man, but also as a woman, you get to build something. You don't have to start from scratch always. Again, imagine you build a house and you only start with like 3 bricks and then you start again. You're always at zero nearly, you know? And again, I talked about the other reason already, that another reason to have commitment is because when life gets tough, you're gonna have someone by your side to help you, just be there emotionally or sometimes in other ways. Yeah, you are a team. And I've seen so many couples when one person got sick and the other person was there for them, or maybe there is a blind spot. Again, 1 plus 1 in the right combination is 11. And it's just so beautiful. So, if you get something out of this video, think about like turn out all the noise that you have from social media, from movies, videos. And I get how much it influences. And sometimes you have to try these things out, like I did too. I was traveling, I was living by myself, I was earning my own money, and then I was by myself and I realized it's just not fulfilling. Sometimes you need to try those things out, okay? But when you are at the point where when you say, you know what, I did all of these things and it's okay, but I feel like I there is something missing and I want to give it a shot. Think about it. Like, wouldn't you want to have a loving relationship that's fulfilling and supportive for a long period of time? And if the answer is yes, then you don't have to be scared of the word commitment or of the word marriage or of the word long-term relationship. I know that movies, media show us the opposite, that those short-term relationships are so great. But do they also show, do they also show, oh, sorry, but do they also show, um, let me just finish quickly. But do they also show a movie where someone like gets sick and then is alone because they don't have a partner? Do they also show a movie when someone is alone at home and doesn't have anyone? Do they also show that like casual dates are not necessarily that deep as a connection where you can trust the person trusts you, and there is just pure blind trust and deepness. Anyways, I'm gonna be finishing that topic here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Think about it. Had the chance, if you had the chance to have a relationship where there's no drama, no fights, no toxicity, amazing communication, and a long-term commitment of trust and loyalty, would you want to have that? If the answer is yes, then don't be scared of the words commitment, marriage, long-term relationship, because I'm going to be using that a lot in this channel. Okay. And it's not to trap you, but it's because if it's done in the right way, it's gonna serve you so much. All right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you desire my one-on-one support, please reach out for a free love audit call. I'm gonna put the link in the description box or in my bio.